here's a demonstration that I like to do as we go back and revisit the scientific method. You take a balloon, you take a large yarn needle that has been sharpened to a point, and I ask my students, what do you think is going to happen if you take this and poke it in the balloon? Well, most of the time they're going to say it's going to pop. So I said, okay, is that your educated guess, your hypothesis? They say yes, for the most part. Hardly anybody disagrees. I said, okay, now for the fun part of the experiment. This is where you actually get to do what you think is going to happen. So we take the yarn needle. Oh my gosh, I just remembered. It could have been all different. I forgot to use the magic cloth. The magic cloth is a blue cloth with pretty little silver stars on it. It's a magical cloth. Let me take a balloon again, and we'll take the yarn needle, and I'll take the magical cloth over the yarn needle. Ooh, you can even say a magic word if you would like. Okay. Now, students, what do you think is going to happen when I go to poke this into the balloon? Well, some of them think that their hypothesis it will still pop. Other ones think, well, maybe it won't. So we do a little survey. Now it's fun time. It's time for the experiment. So let's see what's going to happen. You ready? 1, 2, 3. Wow, look at that. What in the heck happened? And we start talking about what's happened. Is the yarn needle actually through the balloon? Yes, it is. Well, how did I take it through? And the students will say, well, the first balloon was much bigger than the second balloon. And that's true. The elastic was not as stretched. Some students will say, well, you poked at it. This time you slowly took it through the balloon, and that made a difference. Other students will say, well, hey, first time you came in through the side, and this time you came up through the bottom. You can see that the balloon is actually losing air. It's getting a little bit smaller, and the reason is it has been pierced, but they finally figure out that the most elastic part is down here, and if I slowly glide the yarn needle through the balloon, it's not as abrupt, as great a change in density, and so I can get away with it even though it's still deflating. And if they're not sure, we can pop it. The other thing too is that the cloth, something about the cloth, and sure enough, they were right about that. The cloth had glycerin, which is a clear lubricant, and so it helped to kind of ease the point to allow the yarn needle to go through the balloon. So it's just taking something that they already know, but switching it up a little bit to get them to rethink about it and not to have always set conclusions. They have an open mind with the scientific method.